So in this video, we're going to be running through a quick series of exercises designed for the ankle, especially after an ankle sprain. What we're mainly looking to do here is clean up that sticky spot in our cars where we're in a combination of plantar flexion and inversion, right? We're going to be revisiting these cars throughout the workout, right? Just to first of all check our progress as we're moving through it, and also to save the work that we've done with some of these drills that we're going to be doing. If at any time during these exercises anything feels painful or feels sketchy, either stop, back off on the side of the movement that you're doing, or send me a quick text and we can try and troubleshoot through text as well. Another thing you can do throughout this video is pause at any time. It's going to give you a chance to accumulate a little bit more time in a stretch, or maybe do another rep of our cars, or play around with the movement a little bit more. You can also feel free to jump back and forth depending on what works best for you. So to do this, we're going to be in any sort of seated position where your ankle is pretty free to move, right? I'm just going to be on the couch. I'm going to be grabbing my shin a lot of time just to give you a better visual of how the ankle is moving, but this works just as well. We're going to start with 3 ankle cars. The first car we're going to do is going to be pretty similar to your morning routine, right? We're pushing at about 30%, just kind of exploring our ankle workspace, and from there we're going to bump up the intensity a bit. We're going to go at about 50% for the next 2, right? This way we're going to be able to recruit more motor units around the ankle, around the area, and we're also going to be able to trace out a little bit more movement and start to build a little bit more comfort in those end ranges, right? So again, we're going to start with our first ankle car. Again, we're just going about 30%. You're flowing through maybe water while you're doing this, okay? So from here, we're going to come up into dorsiflexion. You're going to feel the front of your shin really light up here, and then you're going to start to invert, come across. You're going to feel the inside of your shin start to turn on. Once you've hit full inversion, you're going to come down and start to plantar flex while holding that inversion. This is usually where our sticky spot starts. So if you're flipping over at all, slow it down a little bit. From here, come across, follow my pace throughout this entire workout. Come across into eversion and then come back up into dorsiflexion from there. Now we're going to reverse it, come back into eversion, and then start to point down into plantar flexion. Feel calf start to turn on. Finish that circle through with inversion, and then come back up into dorsiflexion. So that was our first one. That will kind of give us a sense of how the ankle's feeling right now. Next 2, we're going to bump up the intensity a little bit, right? So now we're thinking about maybe moving through a thick like gravy, right? A little bit slower, a little bit more deliberate with some of those movements, and tense up through some of our other muscles as well. So you can kind of clamp down, dig into the couch, right? Squeeze your fists a little bit tighter. From here, lock down a little, come up into dorsiflexion. Again, you're going to feel the front of your shin turn on, and then come into inversion. Start to roll the sole of your foot inwards and point the blade of your foot down, and then again come down into plantar flexion. Start to point all the way downwards. Wrap across, turn the sole of your foot to face outwards, and then come up into dorsiflexion. The whole time we want to make sure our shin isn't moving and our thigh isn't moving. From here, you're going to reverse it. Again, follow my pace throughout this entire workout. Point down, come across into inversion, and come back up. So that was our second one. This third one, again, we're going at that same intensity, but again, trying to trace out as big of a circle as we can. So come up into dorsiflexion again, start to twist in, turn the sole of your foot inwards, and then point your toes down, come across, point your sole outwards, and then come up into dorsiflexion. From there, reverse everything. So evert, feel the outside of your ankle, point down to find calf, point in to find the inside of your ankle, and then come all the way up into dorsiflexion. And there we go. That's our 3 cars. We're going to revisit this after. Next exercise, we're going to work on some pails and rails in that sticky position, right? So come into a bit of plantar flexion and come into a bit of dorsiflexion. What we're fishing for is a line of tension right across the ankle, kind of right where we sprained, and also up the side of the shin maybe, right? Once you found that position, make sure it doesn't hurt, but we're going to hold here for 5 deep breaths. And with every single breath, that feeling that line of tension should be settling a little bit, and you might be able to pull a little bit further into that position. There's our fifth breath. Take a couple quiet breaths just to let that position settle again. Make sure you don't come out of this position. Now, from here, we're gonna start our pales contraction. So just to show you what it's gonna look like, if my hand wasn't here, you'd be pushing outwards like that, okay? So take your hand, pull up on your foot, and then with your foot, push down into your hand. You'll feel everything kind of lighting up on the side of your shin. Ramp up from 20% and slowly bring that up, 40, 60, and now we're at 80% here. You're kind of pushing as hard as you safely can with no pain. The harder you go, the more you'll sort of feel this contraction leak upwards and maybe even go up to the thigh. That's totally fine. Hold that for 10 seconds. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Slowly melt that contraction away. And now you're going to reverse that contraction. You're going to start your rails contractions. You're going to try and pull your foot off of your hand. So if my hand wasn't there, I'd kind of be floating in this position. You're going to feel everything start to light up on the medial side of your shin. Hold that for another 10 seconds. Hold as hard as you can. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then place your hand back on your ankle and relax slowly. Give yourself a couple seconds to accommodate to this new position, and then we're going to do one more rep. So from here, tense up, pack some air in your stomach, tense up through your other leg. The more irradiation we can drive through our body, the better we're going to get from this exercise, okay? So start to ramp up a contraction, go from 20%. Again, you're pushing down now into your hand. Take your hand, kind of pull up on your foot. Bring that to 40, come up to 60, and we're going to drive up to 80%. And hold there, hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, you're going to feel everything lighting up on the side. 8, 9. Slowly relax that and reverse into your rails. So you're going to try and lift again away from your hand. Pull this way. Feel everything lighting up here. Hold. You might even feel a stretch on the outside. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and relax slowly. Chill here for a couple seconds, let that position settle, and then slowly come out of it. What we just did there was we worked to build a bit of control in that sticky spot. So now again, we're going to save that work with one car, and we're going to try and bump that up again to about 50 to 60%, right? So that same intensity you were running with that last rep, tense everything up again. The more irradiation you can find, the better you're going to get out of this, okay? So come up into dorsiflexion, and then start to flip into inversion, and this is the exact spot that we just worked. So start to feel everything on the inside start to work like we were doing with the rails, right? Start to wrap inwards, and you'll feel everything kind of stretching here. Start to point down. You're going to feel calf turn on. You'll feel the outside of your shin really turn on, and then flip that around. Point your shin outwards, point your sole outwards, and then start to come higher and higher into dorsiflexion. Good, and then you're going to reverse that. Point your sole outwards, feel the outside of your shin really lighting up. Point all the way down, you'll feel calf kind of turn on. And then here's our sticky spot again. So come into inversion, you'll feel all of this kind of turning on. And finish up into dorsiflexion. Good. So that was our second set of cars. Now we're going to do some half cars just to clean up in again, near around that sticky spot. So what we're going to be combining here is plantar flexion and inversion and eversion. So we're just working that bottom half of our car. We're going to do a set of 6 here, and we're still going to find that 50 to 60% intensity that we were running before. So tense everything up. If you're holding like this, lock down into your hand, right? And from there, find plantar flexion and don't let yourself come out of it at all, right? So this shouldn't lift up at all throughout this entire movement. From here, you're gonna slowly come into inversion, right? And then slowly wrap it around into eversion. So that's one rep. We're gonna do 6 of those at that intensity. You'll feel both sides of the ankle kind of turning on to pull you through those positions. Your ankle, if you're doing this right, will really start to feel like it's burning now. Good, so that's our second rep. We're gonna come through again, follow my pace this entire time. Here's number 3. With every rep, try and scrape out a little bit more movement. Here's our 4th one. Good. And you can see we're sort of coming across, and I'm trying to drive more and more inversion and eversion every single time while not losing that and coming up back into dorsiflexion. So here's our last rep. Come into inversion, really feel all of this pulling, and then finish up into eversion. Good, and we're almost done. So we've pushed at pretty high intensity for some of these, so let things shake off a little bit first, take a couple breaths, right? And then we're gonna finish with our last car. So everything we've done was at about 60% up to this point. Let's try and bump it up one more time for our last one to really save everything that we've just done. So we're going maybe 75% now, right? So now look, we're moving through a thick gel, right? Really try and max out on that circle. Really try and find all the tissues that you just activated with some of those drills, okay? So tense everything up, pack some air in your stomach, hold that tension. You can take some short breaths to breathe if you need. From there, come up into dorsiflexion, really feel the front of your shin turning on, try and pull your toes up towards your nose, and then holding that height, start to wrap in, turn the sole of your foot inwards, and feel everything on the outside of your ankle kind of stretching, feel the inside of your ankle turning on, and start to point down. Your calf is really gonna go here. If things are cramping, it's perfect. If you need to shake things off, feel free. Turn the sole of your foot outwards. You'll feel the outside of your shin really lighting up right now. And wrap everything back up into dorsiflexion. Try and point your toes up towards your nose. And then reverse. Turn your sole outwards. And then point everything down. Feel calf. And then find the medial ankle here. Turn everything on and pull up to finish off. And that's our last rep. And we're done. So we're looking to run this maybe once or twice a day, right? Depending on how hard you're going. If the ankle's a little bit sore afterwards, it's totally fine. We're using a lot of these muscles, right? But if things feel painful, if things feel sketchy, again, shoot me a quick text.